And here we are again. This is Michael Lodge, and I am the business advisor. I'm glad you're with me this morning. It's a Tuesday cold morning here in South Carolina. It's 51, and we just almost got to in the 40s, but once it gets to the 40s, you know that things are coming. What we're preparing for right now, I guess we're going to get rain throughout the weekend, starting Friday and running through Monday. I guess it's coming up from that hurricane that is going through Florida at the moment. Well, today, I guess it's going through Florida today. So we get it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Which is okay because that means I don't have to go out and spend money on watering everything, because when the rain comes down here, it comes down hard in buckets. But we're going to have several days of it, so everything should be really nice and green. Listen, you and I, we're waiting for this November date to come along where we vote, right? But until then, you and I, we're going to be bombarded by political lies. That's just part of the process. But this year, it seems to be worse. It feels like everybody's lying. And I think that on our vote, and I think you probably have already made a decision in which direction you're going with your vote. I have. And I'm just going to stick with that vote because I'm confident in the way I'm going to vote. I'm not going to listen to all this gibbly-gook that's being put out there by politicians. The one that I heard today was that Republicans were going to take away the Social Security from people. Never was said. Republicans have never said that, but that is a lie that is used every single election season by Democrats. They do it every single time. Go back and look at your history of these elections, and the Democrats always use this against the Republicans. And it's a complete lie, because if you listen to the statements over the last week from Republicans, they have stated very clearly that they are going to continue on with the Social Security, and they thought it was a very needed aspect of American life, which is good. Now, the other thing that really upset me yesterday is Hillary Clinton coming out and saying that Republicans are Nazis. Now, she compared us, she was talking about a Trump rally where people were putting up their arms in prayer. I don't know if you do this in church, but when you pray for someone, you put up your arm and you pray for them. It kind of looks like a Nazi salute, but it's not. It is to reach out and pray for that individual so that the Holy Spirit is pointed in that direction. So what Hillary said, they're just a bunch of Nazis. They were doing the Nazi salute. Far from it. It was a lie. And she knows it's a lie, but that's what she's going to go with. Because she wants to compare Republicans to Nazis. And that was her whole spiel of how she didn't understand when she was a child how anybody could follow a person like Adolf Hitler. And then she moved over into Republicans doing the Nazi salute as they were praying for Donald Trump. And of course, Donald Trump needs a lot of prayer because he's being hounded by everybody, by every law enforcement agency out there and the Attorney General out there. He's being hounded. And so the people that were at that rally prayed for him and prayed for his needs. It was not a Hitler salute. Wasn't anything even close to that at all. But that's the narrative that they're going with, Nazism. So you and I were sitting through this. I think we should sit back in our chairs and watch how these politicians act. Listen to the words and the accusations that they fling. Pay close attention to the lies that they put out there. And be very confident in what we have chosen, our own direction of how we're going to vote. We're certainly not going to vote for nonsense, even though most of the politicians are nonsense. But we're going to try our best to vote for individuals that believe in us as the American people. Not as a vote, not as a pawn in some political agenda, but who will treat us respectfully and who will work diligently for our needs. The only problem with that whole speech that I just gave you is that once politicians who are running for office get to Washington, D.C., they tend to forget about you and me. Because they're focused about the power that they can gain, the money that they can receive. You know that politicians, when they leave office, for some reason they have become multimillionaires. I have no idea how it works, except through crude process of elimination of how they get that money. But they get rich off of serving or supposedly serving the American people. It's a tough situation. So I think that you and I were pretty much confident in our vote. And let's just leave it at that. Let's just go to the polls and vote how we feel. That's what's in our heart. That's how we will vote. Not by lies, not by propaganda, not by all of this other stuff. But let's just focus on what we feel is right for us. Now, I have to also talk about Mr. Biden again, because he is so out of touch with the feelings of the American people and how we are coping with this inflation recessionary time. We have to be very careful about listening to politicians as they spin what they think the economy is doing and what the actual economy is doing. Because what they have been doing is Biden has been doing it, taking just a portion of the jobs report or other reports and using it to spin his narrative, when in actuality it's totally opposite from what these politicians are saying. We know that the recession is bad because unemployment is starting to go up. We see that jobs, there are a lot of layoffs going on at the moment within companies. I covered this yesterday in my podcast. Go back and listen to it. Repossession of homes is going up. People are late in their payments. 20% of Americans are late in paying their utility bills. Some of them are 3 months behind. People are late in paying their mortgage bills, their rents. There's more foreclosures. There's more evictions that are happening day after day after day. If you look at the repossession of cars, they're at over 5,000 to 6,000 cars a day being taken away from people. Americans have overspent. They have made really bad financial decisions during the pandemic. They didn't use that pandemic money to help their homes. No, what did they do? They went out and they bought cars. And now they can't afford them. So we're in this bucket of dirty, yucky water that we're trying to clean up, but it's going to take not just a few months to clean up a recession. It's going to take a long time. It's not going to be overnight. So I'm seeing a lot of things on Twitter, and I know that they're plants. I know that people have put up these accounts in Twitter, and they're putting out this nonsensical information on the economy. And the problem is that they're lying to you. We've got to stay away from this stupidity of people trying to make things appear better than what they are. Because that takes our focus away on surviving every single day and managing our money every single day. Because people are telling us, oh, the world is great, the roses are blooming. When in actuality, people are being laid off from their jobs. And it's going to get more and more as we get deeper and deeper into this recession. So I hope that you are planning. I hope that every single day you're sitting down and looking at the money that you're spending. Look at ways of cutting back on your spending. If you guys are still spending money like you were not in a recession, then you are going to destroy your financial situation. But if you're planning that you are deep into a recession and you have got to manage your money so very keenly, so very smartly, then you will survive this. So I've put in down in the information section down below, I've put in a link that you can go and use a free budgeting Excel spreadsheet that will help you put in your budget and your actuals, the actual amount that you're spending. The more that you use this on a weekly basis, and if you are married, please sit down with your spouse and go through this. Work together as a team. And those of you who are considering getting married, now is the time to start planning your financial situations. Some of you may have debt. Some of you might be going into a marriage just before you say I do, or going into a marriage where you have a tremendous amount of debt. Maybe it's not the right time to get married until some of that debt is paid down. If you want to sit down with me, I give a free 30-minute consultation to you guys for free. It's free. And you can go to www.lodgelodge-co.com. Again, that's www.lodgelodge-co.com. I do charge for regular consultations, but I always give a free 30-minute consultation so that we can go through all of the aspects that we need to talk about when we literally go into your budgeting and your planning and planning for the future. I mean, it needs to be done. If you are thinking about getting married, please sit down with somebody. I don't care if it's even not me, but sit down with someone and go through your finances and see exactly where you stand, how much debt that you have, how much cash that you have coming into the situation. If you have any businesses that you are bringing into the marriage, there's some things that we need to talk about. Again, my website's www.lodge-co.com. So over the next few months, as we get into this election year, when November comes around, it's only a few more days. Vote how your heart tells you to vote. Don't vote politically. Forget about voting Republican or Democrat. Forget about that. Sit back and look at the individuals you are voting for and decide, will this individual protect me and my family? Will it protect my business? Will it protect my money that I'm making? Or are they going to tax me more? Look at their history and look at what they have accomplished. What have they built? If they have been a politician all their life, run the other way. But if they've actually built something and they know the hassles of what has to happen when you are building something, that's the individual that you want. Listen, I gotta go. My 15 minutes is up. Everybody have a great day. I'll talk with you soon. This is Mike Lodge, the business advisor. Bye-bye.